report this week is brought to us by the Home Builders Association. Gift big this year with the Home for the Holidays raffle. You have a chance to win a beautiful new custom home or cash prize this holiday season and help make wishes come true for Make-A-Wish kids with critical illnesses. Raffle proceeds benefit Make-A-Wish OKI, which has granted over 22,000 wishes to children facing critical illnesses across Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana since 1983. This year's house, a custom-built ranch by Petros Homes, and has 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and a 3-car garage. It also includes amazing features like a great room, an unbelievable kitchen, and a mudroom with open lockers. One lucky winner will be announced on December 24th, so get your $100 ticket now. Just visit ahomefortheholidays.org to buy your tickets. That's ahomefortheholidays.org. Terms and conditions apply. It's time for our rookie report, and this week we are featuring Carson Schwesinger, Mason Graham, who I thought played his best game of the season, and Quinshon Judkins. G, where do you want to start? Your choice.
I'm gonna start with Schwesinger, man. Let me raise my hand. See, I'm gonna give this up for everybody. You ain't got to double and triple down. When they drafted Carson Schwesinger, I said, "Who the heck is Carson Schwesinger?" We did the draft thing here.
Everybody did.
I said, "Who is this dude?" I don't know. I've never heard. I called Tyvis. You do Big Ten Network. Who is this? I couldn't find nobody who knew him. And let me tell you this. This dude might be already one of the best linebackers in the league. Already. First and foremost, the level of grit he showed. We like, yeah, Carson Schwesinger about to be out for 3-4 weeks. He didn't miss no weeks. What you talking about?
That was crazy.
Matter of fact, he didn't miss no weeks and was out there running people down the very next week.
The beauty of being in your 20s.
Like,
yeah, no kidding.
Whatever he got, boy, I couldn't listen, man.
Whoever said he was going to be out 4 weeks is 45.
Man, listen, man, I ain't got no more rounds than me, bro. This dude, the fact that he plays 3 downs, he calls the plays. I even like the fact that he don't even be starstruck. He'd be like, yeah, number 8, number 22. I like what they did. I shout out to them on the broadcast team. They say that's how he goes at it. He plays the pass. He's sideline to sideline. He don't play no games. He brings his attitude and he bring his attitude when he come to the tackle. He's one of them dudes that if you don't get there, he's not assuming you're going to make the tackle. I'm going to finish all tackles. And you got you one, bro. This dude is the best defensive rookie. It ain't even close. Myles Garrett he's going to win this by a bigger margin than Myles Garrett could win Defensive Player of the Year.
What's Abdul Carter up to these days?
Chilling.
He got benched to start the game.
I mean, think about that.
That's wild.
And here's what I want to know. Inquiring minds demand to know this. Who was behind? Who drove the bus on that pick?
Andrew Berry.
Was he here when I gave my theory last week about why I think?
Yes, I think I heard it.
You gave him a headache on that one.
So I got a lot of feedback on that, by the way, from somebody who knows really well how the whole thing works. You know him. I'll tell you who it is after the show. He doesn't like when I say his name. I've said his name on the show a couple times. He's like, some of the stuff I tell you is in confidence. You know, we all know him. Big NFL name. And really, I always thought his skill set was assessing talent. He thought my theory was on. He goes, listen, when you're doing the same thing all the time and it's not working, to figure out exactly like what's the worst thing, you start to change things up. And something was different about this year's draft.
It just was.
We all agree, right? Like, they got this draft right. The guy who
they still drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round.
And they still got this draft right. That's
kind of crazy.
They took 2 quarterbacks, both of which have shown us nothing yet, but this draft is by far the best one they've had in 10 years.
Yeah.
And
I don't know about 10 years.
Yeah, that might be a little stretch.
Certainly in 6 years.
Yeah. But here's my point to all this. The reason that this person agrees with my theory is because he said, well, one person is gone. And let's face it, he was going to get fired.
Right.
He knew what time it was.
We knew what time it was.
So he said it might be a legitimate theory because if he did have his hands tied for this draft, and as the year has played out, we've seen all these hits in this draft, he's looking from his office saying, uh-oh, they blocked me out of the room and they got it right. I'm not long for this world. And he jumped ship. That's why he thinks that this theory, there could be something to this theory. But he said what I said on the air. We'll never find out because no one's going to tell that tale. They don't. The NFL doesn't do that.
They don't kiss and tell. But I will tell you this. I mean, Carson Schwesinger, that pick, Quinshon, Harold. When you look at that, and if Shedeur Sanders is in, if he shows any sort of level of promise, and they're like, oh, we might have got us something here. This is, I mean.
Now we're going to give Andrew Berry credit for that when we clearly know that that was a Jimmy Haslam move.
Well, listen.
I'm not giving him credit.
I'm going to, listen, if he going to trade Joe Flacco, he moved the piece to get him on the field.
By the way, for the PFF is dead for me crowd, Jay, the leader of that.
Still dead for me.
Here's a good example, and I have to join you now. As Carson Schwesinger is ranked 37th at linebacker.
Yeah, dead to me.
Now that's not bad, but it's not top.
That means every team in the NFL has a linebacker better than him. That's laughable.
Devin Bush is like number 5.
This guy's averaging 8.4
and Devin Bush is playing well, but Carson Schwesinger's been phenomenal.
So here's
phenomenal.
Too bad they should have taken Tyler Shuck though.
Oh my God! I didn't say that, Jason.
You
did nothing.
They kind of did.
By the way, how much is it helping them win?
No, they got 2 wins.
Listen, you know what? When the Buccaneers ship turned, they did it with the defensive draft picks a couple years in a row. Here's what we have this year. We have a foundation. We haven't had that really since like Miles, Baker, Denzel. There is now a foundation. And before you can put the house up, you got to have somewhere to put it, or it's going to sink into the earth.
That's what teams say when they don't have a quarterback.
No, but Bull,
there's plenty of teams that started with the quarterback and got better around them.
Do we have a premier linebacker on our team now?
Yes.
Do we have a premier running back on our team now, despite the fact that he's not doing anything? But we've all seen what he can be.
None of that's helping them win until you get a quarterback.
It's not. What I'm saying is, the foundation is built. Then you can build the.
They don't have a foundation. They have some pieces.
I think we have some pieces.
I know, but there's 25 teams that have more pieces.
Yes, I'm not saying that we're going to compete now. What I'm saying is there's hope for the future. Put 4 of these classes together. And that's what the Buccaneers did.
They got 1.
That's what I'm saying. It's a big ass.
And we don't even know that they got 1 with some of the picks. Do we know Mason Graham's a hit?
Yeah, I think Mason Graham is a hit.
I think he's a pretty good player.
I think he's a hit.
You drafted him 5th overall. You got to be more than a pretty good player.
I think the first 4 draft picks are hits.
I'm not ready to say that on Mason Graham yet. We'll see.
Let me give y'all something. Here's what I will say this.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the pick Carson Schwesinger. I look at Devin Bush playing well. I'm gonna give credit to somebody that's in the shadows. We ain't heard his name in a minute. I remember he came on this show in the beginning and was like, oh man, JOK, I don't know what JOK is doing. I cut him. And then guess what? JOK turned his game around. DeQuell Jackson. DeQuell, listen, I'm telling you, he knows linebackers. He
don't work with the
He's
Browns
not with the
anymore.
team anymore.
Yeah. He's not
He had
with the
nothing
team.
to do with
That's
it.
okay.
No, listen, but I'm saying, was he there last year?
Not when they drafted Schwesinger, though. That's my point. He was not part of the. I already talked to him about this. He was
okay. Well, okay. We're not gonna give him no credit then.
No, we still love DQ.
But I still like him. But I still like him.
DQ then? Where is he?
Traveling, living his best life right now.
Good for him.
Far away from the NFL.
But here's what I will say about Carson.
Browns will run people out of that profession real quick.
Yes.
Whoever, if it was the boogeyman or the tooth fairy, whoever drafted Carson Schwesinger, understand they're getting clout with the owner.
And so what I wish we knew would take I don't know that anybody could ever drag it out of anybody in the organization, but I wish we could actually piece together the behind the scenes building of their draft strategy. Who is really the guy turning?
We don't know that
card.
for any team.
No, we do for some.
It'll come out with the Browns when everybody's fired.
Well, I hope it does.
Or
I hope it does.
when one person gets fired and one person is magically still here. Or
when DePodesta was transparent when he went to Colorado. He said, "Oh yeah, we all own that Deshaun Watson's."
And when I say when everybody gets fired, I don't mean Barry and Kevin necessarily. I mean like the entire.
Everybody's
office.
gone. Yeah, someone
when
will.
the entire front office moves on.
Someone will talk to someone like you, who's doing a big deep dive investigative piece.
Yeah, and it all comes out.
It usually does, but no one's going to come forward. Like Kevin Stefanski isn't going to tell us. Now, we will learn something if my theory is true. At some point, maybe Jimmy will say, "Well, we just realized that Paul's way wasn't working for us. It just wasn't working for us." I mean, we all knew that. We knew that 5 years ago. But
so
they
then,
kept
do you
going.
think Andrew Berry should not be fired?
Before I can answer that question honestly, I need to know the following: did Andrew, in an effort to stick up for himself, did he have a conversation with Jimmy that sounded something like this? I'm the general manager of this football team. I know Paul is here. I know Paul plots our point on the horizon. I have yet to be able to go into a draft and take the players that I feel are the best.
I think that's so unlikely that that's the case, that was the case. But I
don't know.
We're never going to know that. So we got to make opinions on the information we have.
This will be, I think step one was DePodesta is out. Okay. Step two will be if Andrew Berry comes back next year. If Jimmy brings Andrew back next year, that to me is more fuel to my argument that it was always Paul driving the bus, and Andrew said, if I'm going to get fired, I want to be fired on my merits or my deficiencies.
I don't agree that.
Let me drive the bus on this draft class.
Why would that be proof? He wasn't fired. He left.
If Andrew comes back.
Paul DePodesta left.
I thought he definitely got fired.
We parsed this out last week. Every article that I've written, that I've read so far on this, said that, he was dead man walking, and he knew he ran to a baseball job.
Yeah.
We knew he was going to be fired.
In fairness, I think he's been trying to get back in baseball.
Yeah.
Because he's been reading the tea leaves. Man, how long
I
am I
heard
going
he's
to
been trying to
steal this
get back
guy's
in baseball
money?
for 2 years.
Before
He finally did it this year.
I don't know.
When he got desperate.
You think he was definitely going to get fired?
I don't know. I can't say that definitively. I don't know. But I do know that
I feel
he was at least the third choice of the worst team in baseball.
Yes.
Because the guy from Cleveland turned them down, and they had someone else turn them down.
We've kind of gone off the rail from grading the rookies, Mike.
Can we get back to Mason? I thought
Mason Graham, Jimmy talked about the post-game show.
Mason Graham, I thought have a really nice game. The Cleveland Browns do a lot of penetration, which makes it difficult for Derrick Henry to get the ball. And they basically say, listen, if they can't get past the first wall of defenders, Derrick Henry can't keep going. He had the one tackle for loss, but the thing that I like to see with him is there were plays where Derrick Henry couldn't even get going because of his penetration in the backfield. This comes after he had a really nice pass rush grade for PFF against the Jets, and he had, I think it was 88% in that game. I think for him, he just has to learn how to get a little bit more stronger, a little bit more, physically. He'll get stronger. Physically, he'll develop some counter moves. And the hardest position in terms of getting it right, there's two positions that's the hardest position to come out swinging right now. Defensive tackle, and actually, believe it or not, tight end. Because tight ends need to be able to block. They need to be able to pass. They need to be able to have pass protection, and they need to be able to run routes and catch the football. So it's a very hard position to get. Defensive tackle is the second most, in my opinion, tough position because you're not only expected to be a 3-down player, but you have to have production. And the thing that people are pointing to is he don't have the level of production. But there's some good bones there. I think he still needs to continue to have a counter move and a pass rush plan. That comes with times in the offseason, but I thought he had a really nice game against the Ravens.
I want to be really careful how I word this so it doesn't come out wrong because Myles Garrett doesn't need help from anybody. He's proven that. But the fact that I think this is the best defensive line he's probably played on, is that fair?
Yes.
In his career here?
Yes.
How much has that unlocked this other level that Bull's talking about, that he's got 15 sacks already in however many weeks, and the pace that he's on? I just wonder, again, I'm not trying to credit Mason Graham and Malik Collins for Myles' success. Myles doesn't need them to rack up the numbers that he can put up. But I do think that having more talent around him has helped him get to this other level. And I think Mason's played a role in that. And Malik Collins has been terrific next to him. And I think Isaiah McGuire has flashed multiple times. Alex Wright's had moments this year. So I just think that the talent that they've built up around that defensive line has been key for Myles, and Mason's a big part of that.
I agree. They ran a stat yesterday, Mike, maybe you can give me a little more clarity on it. The stat they ran yesterday was the Browns lead the league with first contact by running backs behind the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
I would think, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, I would guess that would be more the interior.
Yes, because you're trying to change the line of scrimmage.
Guys,
You're changing the line of scrimmage.
I would guess, and there may be individual numbers that would help me make that final decision, but to me, I think Mason Graham is the piece to that. So I don't know where he ranks individually in contacting running backs behind the line of scrimmage, but I know collectively This line has been the best defensive line that we've seen in Cleveland. And I think that Mason Graham is the outside piece, the biggest outside piece that came in to kind of make the difference, to raise everybody else's game around him.
Well, I think Malik Collins has outplayed.
Collins has been great. Collins has been great.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't watch football like you do. I know guys. I used to hear Warren Sapp talk about like line of scrimmage and point of impact, and I'm like, man, I should pay more attention watching just that. Because he said that you want to figure out who the better football team is, don't look at the ball. Look at the line of scrimmage.
Right.
Who's moving who?
Change.
Who's getting penetration? Who's keeping the other team away?
Yeah.
That's going to tell you, that and turnovers, it's going to tell you who wins the football game. And I do think that he has made an impact at that position, and he's just a rookie. Also, I'm told from people that have played that position that it is a pretty dramatic learning curve that goes along with it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we'll see a definitive jump year to year in Mason Graham as he continues to progress throughout his career.
Right now, he don't have no. Right now, because of the system he played in Michigan, he's not a pass rusher. He's just a guy that uses quickness to get in the backfield and to tackle people. He don't even have a move. He really don't have like a rip move or a basic move that he goes to in pass rush downs.
Do those guys typically develop that?
Oh yeah. You got to.
He better, otherwise he wasn't worth the 5th pick.
Hey, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
The thing that you can't teach is the raw tools, the quickness off the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. And if you want to contact people in the biggest thing Myles Garrett has is his get off. That's what it starts. It starts with your stance and your get off. Once you get the get off, now you can play in their backfield. Because I don't care what you're trying to run. You're trying to run zone, you want to run gap schemes, you want to down block, you want to trap. You can't trap me if I'm in your backfield. And Jim Schwartz ran a defense where, they say Dalvin Tomlinson, he didn't fit what they wanted to run. He's a typical nose tackle. But now they got 3 techniques. Mike Hall Jr., I thought, played a nice little game. He flashed some things. Now they got 3 techniques that's upfield. And now Myles Garrett is collapsing everything from the edges. Now you keep people in the pocket. That's why you look at what Lamar Jackson was doing. He never looked comfortable because guys are in your face, in your lap. And I think that it's the body type that they're looking for. And I think he has the body type. He just needs to develop the skill sets to go around it.
Real quick, we mentioned him earlier, but I want to give Quinshon Judkins just a little more time before we get to Super Chats. And I got a stat for you guys to wrap up the show here. But Judkins had 32 yards on that one drive, the second drive of the game for the Browns.
Looked great on that drive.
Was kind of stymied. The Browns, they're not a creative running team, and I think part of that's the offensive line. But his overall yards per carry average does not do justice to some of the things that Quinshon did yesterday.
And I think, and guys, you can attack this if you want, because I can see where you would punch a hole in that. I want to blame most of that on the offensive line. I'm looking at some of the holes he has to run through. Now, he did have a big hole yesterday on a run that he broke. But, man, BG, are you seeing any daylight there for him to hit?
No, they bust you know what the disappointing part about it is? When you watch them every week on film, they have running concepts where I don't understand what they're doing. I don't understand. I'm watching it trying to understand why would you leave that guy open? Why are you not zoning that? Why are you not picking those guys
we missed
up?
Bill Callahan
My
more
goodness.
than we ever thought we would.
They don't seem to have a cohesive. The first foundation you have to understand is what is our Bible in terms of our rules and how we want to block things. Are we blocking this double teaming to the front side? Are we double teaming to the back side? Are we going to surpass that guy? Pass protections. Is the back going to fill on the edge, or where the back's going to? All these rules, it doesn't seem like there's a rhyme or reason. And there are times when there's free runners. And I'm like, listen, that's Roquan Smith, guys. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's not going to miss that tackle. You might want to block him. And they aren't there. But the thing that is impressive about Quinshon Judkins is the fact that he has what I call fresh legs. When you got fresh legs, he seems to find a way to bounce it on the outside. He finds a way to give a guy a move, and an unblocked tackler gets shook up, and he's off to the races. He does more with less, and that's what you need from a young back. Sometimes when you get older running backs, they start to get tackled. You're like, man, did they fall off? Nah, it's not they fell off. It's the fact that they don't have them legs to do certain things to make guys miss. So those yards are not impressive at 3.5 yards per carry. but they could be 2.5 yards per carry if he wouldn't been doing some of the things he's doing.
Maybe even less. He's played very well. I think the upside on him is great. I think he's going to be a top 10 back by next year. The offensive line's still going to stink next year, most likely. But
Most likely.
if they could ever get a good offensive line from the block, he'll be near. I think near the top.
Is he on pace for 1,000 yards?
Barely, I think.
He has. Steve, pull back his season stats.
Yeah, he's on pace for
620.
1,000
Yeah, he's on
yards.
pace for 1,000 because he missed a game too, Jay. He missed the first.
Yeah,
game.
no, but he's not.
Okay.
It's not going to be like a 1,300 or 1,400 yard
No, it'll
season.
just be over it.
He should go over it, but it won't be that much.
A 1,000-yard season from him missing in no camp, I'll take it.
You know what's crazy is we're watching Trevion Henderson after he got out of Mike Vrabel's doghouse. He scored 3 touchdowns last week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State had both those guys in the backfield last year and lost to Michigan.
Cheaters.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
But hey, Mason Graham said, "Hey, I had a lot."
Mason Graham had
Mason
a lot
Graham
to
had
do
a lot
with that.
So guys,
there's a backstory between Mason Graham and Chip Kelly that's fascinating. But we'll save that for another day. Go ahead.
Yeah.
so we asked earlier, what is the fewest amount of wins a DPOI has ever had in a season
Okay.
in NFL history? Right.
Yeah, I'd guess it'd be 7.
Well, I got the answer. It is very beneficial to be good friends with the head researcher at NFL Network. Shout out to Jack Andre, who I went to college
it
with.
is good.
Could not find it on my own, so I texted Jack, got back to me a minute later. Are you guys ready for this? And
Yeah.
once again, follow at RealJackAndre on Twitter. Great stats.
Who won last year? The Broncos corner?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
In 1992, the Seattle Seahawks went 2-14,
Oh, my
and Cortez Kennedy won Defensive Player.
And you know what? He had one of those kind of years where you couldn't ignore it.
14 sacks in 16 games in
Yeah.
92.
You
which
couldn't
was
ignore it.
by far.
One of the
The
greatest
second
D tackles of all
fewest.
time.
So we could be 2-15. We would break
Second
that.
fewest in a full season. Jason Taylor in 06. The Dolphins went 6-10. He won the DPOY.
Wow.
And then it's happened one more time in a full season. Strahan, when he broke the sack record, the Giants were 7-9. And then Lawrence Taylor and Reggie White both won it in shortened seasons. The Giants were 4-5 when the season ended. The Eagles were 7-8 when the season
How many sacks did Jason Taylor and them have?
in 06.
He was double digits for sure.
In 06, Jason Taylor had 13.5 sacks.
Oh, that's a wrap. This dude don't.
See, I
He
think
don't
so
want it.
too. I mean,
He might get 20.
well,
gotta-
you know how
you
in
gotta finish it.
baseball, like
Shout
they
out Jack.
almost
Thank you
never
for
give
that.
the MVP to somebody who plays for a
Right.
team that,
Yeah.
didn't one year, was it Ernie Banks?
Andre
Andre
Dawson.
Dawson. I knew it was a Cubby.
Yeah.
They finished in last place, and he won the MVP.
Because he had 49 homers and 150
He made it.
ribbies.
He made it no
when
argument.
people were not putting up those
I feel
numbers.
like
No, right.
A-Rod did that one year in Texas, didn't he? Didn't he win the MVP on a bad team
I
in
think he
Texas?
did too on a
It's-
bad
it's
team. I don't know if
very,
they were last
very,
place, but
very
they were
rare.
there. Baseball, it's very rare.
Yeah.
Well, technically, I mean, it's not the defensive MVP; it's the defensive player of the year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And there's no argument right now. I mean, I guess it could change.
Would there be an argument if
Yeah.
he breaks the record that he is the NFL MVP?
No.
I don't think he can win it.
You don't think he could win it because how bad the Browns are?
Yeah.
How valuable can you be if you're
not
you
winning?
only
Teams
Yeah.
2-15, yeah.
Yeah, but to me, it makes it even more impressive.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
did that on a team who played games that did not matter.
Right.
It is true.
That's
All right, guys,
crazy.
we got some super chats to get to before we get to